Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film from Italy, spoken in the English language, released in the year 2013, directed by Ivan Zuccon, and this film is called Wrath of the Crows. And the story of Wrath of the Crows, it takes place in a very brutal prison system. You've got a group of death row inmates who are awaiting their fate. So their fate is going to be determined by ribbons that have been tied on the front of their cells. So they're waiting for the coloured ribbon. There are three colours. White ribbon means that you're pardoned, red ribbon means that you've been sentenced to death, and then the black ribbon is the worst of the worst, meaning that you're going to have to spend out your remaining days in this hellhole. So they start to suspect that maybe the pardon isn't quite as enticing as it sounds, because if they want to go free, they're going to have to do the ultimate sacrifice, the test of human sacrifice. So a lot of pain is involved, and a lot of people don't actually pass the test. So they all want to have the red ribbon. They all want to die. They're basically given up and said, look, I don't want to live in these conditions anymore, just end me, please. But then the black ribbon, that is the worst of the worst. That's their nightmare. And so they just sit there. The days pass, and all they're doing is just waiting for what ribbon is going to be put on their cell. So all of a sudden, matters are complicated when a mysterious woman comes into the prison. Now, they just believe that she's an ordinary prisoner to start with, but then she starts to play mind games, and they start to suspect that she's here for a reason, and that reason could be their ticket out of this place. So whether or not that is the case, it's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now, my thoughts on Wrath of the Crows. I can't really tell whether or not I like this film or I don't like the film, because ultimately what I felt from Wrath of the Crows is that it was a missed opportunity. I thought the director was concentrating on a different element of the film than he should have been. So it kind of feels like on one hand he's trying to make this appealing to a younger audience, you know, a younger teenage boy audience, and on the other hand he's trying to make it appeal to a mature audience. And so when both of them come together, it doesn't quite feel right, and it actually feels like a revolving door. You're going around in circles, 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 and it doesn't feel like it's building anything, and therefore right at the end, the ending doesn't work because it comes as a shock, because all of a sudden you're forced to think, and you don't think throughout the whole film. You just think to yourself what is going on because of how bizarre it is, not what is going on because you're interested in what the story is going to become. So that's what I didn't like about it. You know, on the hand of the mature sort of area, you've got a very good atmosphere. It's a very dark, dingy, sadistic atmosphere that Ivan Zuccon has done perfectly. As you know, it's a lower budget film, and I actually thought lower budget movies contribute to a very grubby feeling because they don't have all the millions of dollars, and I actually think that the more money you have as a filmmaker, the more lazy you become because you start to rely on CGI. But in this regard, I thought it was down to the basics. I thought the low budget helped contribute to the grotty feeling it had. And as far as atmospheres are concerned, I thought it was absolutely nasty. I thought it was very, very creepy, and I just felt very uneasy because there's no likeable characters in the film. There's no redemption in any of the characters, and it just feels like you're going through a really hellish nightmare. So atmospherically, it was very, very good. And I like the brutality of the film. It was very in your face. There is one scene in particular involving a priest that was just really cringeworthy, and I had to look away, and that's not often I do that. So I applaud the fact that the director wanted to hit you with some really you know, sudden violence, and the gore was there as well. So as far as extreme cinema is concerned, a lot of people are going to get something out of this. And then you've got basically, as I said, the problems to the film is that yes, it's all visual, the acting is pretty good, but underneath it feels like it's lacking a lot. Now, as I said with Eye Candy, as far as atmospherically, you know, the visuals are very good, but as Eye Candy, I just thought it was more focused in the visuals and not what you're actually feeling. So there's no depth to it. As case in point, my problem with Tiffany Shepis in the film. Now, she's a very good looking lady with a very good body, and she's in the movie, she's the mysterious woman, and she's dressed in this really skimpy outfit. And it became obvious to me that he was trying to sell the film by what you see. And that to me is not what a good filmmaker does. A good filmmaker makes you feel something, not reacting to what you actually see. It's the overall sense of dread. It's the atmosphere. It's the stuff you can't see is what makes a good film. And there are moments in this movie where that happens. But then there are moments that feel a little bit out of place, like this mysterious woman wearing a really skimpy outfit and no one else is wearing that. So you think to yourself, it takes you out a little bit. You think, yeah, this character is in here for the simple fact that it wants to appeal to an audience. And there's too many different types of audiences that this movie wants to appeal to, so it just becomes a film that doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to do. As I said, it's a revolving door. It doesn't feel like it's going in a straight line. It just feels like it's going round and round and round. Then right at the end, it's going to hit you with some thought-provoking material, but it doesn't work because you're not thinking up until that point. And what you're trying to do is think what the hell's going on? You're becoming very confused, and the ending doesn't provide enough light to make it a satisfying experience. And that was my biggest problem with the film. As I said, there are likeable things to the movie. The brutality is very good. The effects are very good. I thought it was a very creepy feeling. But unfortunately, there's just moments, little pockets in the film where it felt like it wasn't doing it for the right reasons. It was appealing to the, the perverted sort of teenage boys. And then there's another instance where it makes you think. So it's got the mature response, it's got the adolescent response, and it just doesn't mix in very well, and it just feels like it's going around in circles and it's just waiting to die, basically. Just like the characters are. They're waiting to die, and basically what the movie is doing is waiting to finish. And so, it's a very, very bizarre atmosphere. I like bizarre films, but I just felt like the director didn't have any control. I love movies that make you feel as though the audience has no control, but the director does. But in this case, it's the director I don't feel has any control, and neither does the viewer. So that was ultimately my biggest downfall of the film, and unfortunately it was one that really hurt it. So overall, for Wrath of the Crows, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I'm still going to recommend it because it is very violent and very creepy, but unfortunately I left it thinking, this was a missed opportunity. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.